up, all my fight fans? So, regarding the whole White House card that's happening next year in June, I believe it's for International Fight Week. Originally, it was supposed to be 4th of July, but I believe they moved it down because, I feel like they were going to get a lot less buys, a lot less views, and a lot less people attending, because at the end of the day, 4th of July is really only one time a year. And you got your kids, you got family, you got fathers and mothers, and you got all the adults who are great fight fans, but they got kids who want to see fireworks, who want to enjoy 4th of July, who are used to going swimming, barbecuing, and seeing fireworks at night. And if a UFC is actually happening at nighttime or on 4th of July, you're probably ain't going to get that, and you're probably going to get a few upset people. So I understand why they moved it to June, so that makes sense. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the famous topic that's been going on, which is regarding the fight card itself. It's been really fun to talk about who's going to be on that card, how the card's going to be, and who the Dana White actually wants to participate on that card. Basically meaning, like, we've heard rumors and conversations about, well, not rumors, but actual conversations regarding Jon Jones being on that card. Dana White has specifically said he does not want Jon Jones on that card because he feels like he cannot count on Jon Jones. He wants people that he can actually count on. He has mentioned that multiple times. And let's first get into that. I understand why he can't, because look at Jon Jones' overall career. Jon Jones is a great fighter. Jon Jones is a great legend, 100%. But he has pulled out of fights because of his opponents falling out. He has pulled out of fights because he's been injured, and he has had to been pulled out of fights just due to the fact of outside shenanigans, I guess you could say, that he's been into, and also because of steroids. So there's been a lot of reasons why Jon Jones hasn't been able to be trusted to participate in the White House card. Also, the most biggest reason of all, because of the issues that he gave the UFC for fighting Tom Aspinall. We should have had Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones probably in Madison Square Garden this year. But the fact that Jon Jones pulled out of the fight, he asked for $30 million. They were going to give it to him. He asked for this. He asked for that. He asked for so much other things that he wanted for the terms to be on his side. And they gave it to him. 100%. They gave it to him. And Jon Jones pretty much said, nah, here's the belt. I'm going home. But now that they got the announcement that they're going to go to the White House, now Jon Jones is doing everything he can to be on that card. My personal opinion is I would like to see Jon Jones on the card, but I would like to see if he's serious about fighting first, because I don't want to be excited or be pumped to see Jon Jones fight possibly Tom Aspinall or somebody else, and then he pulls out or something else happens to where he cannot be in that card. So I don't know, guys. I really would love to see Jon Jones on there, but I guess there's just so much drama going around with Jon Jones. I just hope it gets sorted out for sure. Then also, Dana White had mentioned that he would like to have Conor McGregor. But he feels like Conor McGregor could be on that card just because of the dedication and the determination that Conor McGregor gave him back in his career days, in the UFC days. But then again, we are talking about 2014, 15, 16 Conor. We're not talking about the Conor of today. So I don't know. I feel Conor McGregor have made it crystal clear that he is going to be on that card, that he wants to be on the White House card, but it's just really a matter of, is he dedicated? Is he going to be training? Is he going to stop with the party life? Is he going to stop with the going to events and just focus on fighting like he was supposed to be doing throughout all this time? But, Conor McGregor has not fought since, 2021? After he broke his foot, I believe it is. I believe it was his foot or his ankle or something like that. And he has not fought, and that would make it basically 5 years being away. Now, Conor McGregor is always going to be a big name. Conor McGregor is always going to be a massive star. But we just do not know what kind of Conor McGregor we're getting. And who knows really why, because he was originally scheduled to fight Michael Chandler last year. But then they said he pulled out from a pinky toe injury. But that does not sound like Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor does not pull out of fights. I even heard that he fought Chad Mendes with the ACL or MCL injury. Then I also heard rumors that they were seeing Conor McGregor train, and they were like, oh no, this might not be what we want. This might not be the Conor McGregor that we want headlining our pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm not sure what kind of Conor McGregor we are actually going to get. There's that. Now, as far as the fight card itself, again, there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of talks. There's talk about Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. There's obviously talks about Conor McGregor and who's he going to fight. Well, I would not necessarily love to see him face Michael Chandler, only due to the fact that Michael Chandler has already lost 2 in a row. I believe he lost to Charles Oliveira and he's lost to Paddy Pimblett. So I feel like that ship is gone, has sailed. But then again, you could still make the fight because Conor McGregor himself has lost 2 in a row to Dustin Poirier. So there's still something there that you could have. I just don't see it being a main event is what I'm saying. So if we're really determined to get Conor McGregor in the fight, I would see a Michael Chandler fight coming into fruition, but just not a main event. And it would have to be 3 rounds. It would have to be 3 rounds because, again, we do not know what kind of Conor McGregor we're getting. And Michael Chandler's pretty much going downhill little by little, losing to the fights. He's still a great fighter. He's still one of my favorite fighters of all time, honestly. Always in great fights, action-packed fights. But yeah, and I feel like with the history that these guys have, with the Ultimate Fighter that these guys did, I feel like it should still be something special. But there's that. Then you got Jon Jones. If Jon Jones can make it to the fight, if somehow he comes to terms with Dana White, if maybe he fights before, and we could potentially get him to fight somebody, like maybe he can, like if Tom Aspinall just so happens to be Cyril Gane in October, and he could get him to fight maybe in February or like Super Bowl weekend, which was something that the UFC used to do back in the day. If they could get that fight happen, we get Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. And if Jon Jones wins, then I could actually see him participating at the White House card. So there's a lot of moving pieces that needs to happen for Jon Jones to be on that White House card. They want to see if Jon Jones actually is motivated to fight in the UFC. So who knows? But if he does, I would not mind seeing him, if he just so happens to be the heavyweight champion of the world, fight and defend his belt. Or maybe this is a wild card. Who knows? But maybe they could come to terms with Francis Ngannou, and who knows, maybe they could get that fight on the White House card. Oh my God, what a massive fight that would be. That's something that we all have been wanting forever. I do not feel like it's ever going to happen. I'm just throwing it out there as a wild card, as an idea, because I cannot see anything else potentially happening out there. That's just my personal opinion regarding, because you need something big. This is a massive, massive fight. I mean, a massive event. This is the first time ever. If you guys followed the UFC history, you would know that the UFC has had so many issues that they were been banned in so many parts of the U.S. and even in the country, that this is so much. This is historic for the UFC to finally be able to say, look, it took us 30 years, or if not 30 years, maybe more, to finally be able to be appreciated by the United States. We're actually having a fight in the White House. That's something that's never been done before. Boxing's been around for hundreds of years, and that's never been done before. So, yeah, it's a big milestone. So I can understand why they want to pack this card. I can understand why they want to make it really historic, because I'm sure it's a one and done, just like the Spear was a one and done. But yeah, what else we got? Well, there's always all these other big matchups that could potentially happen. It just all really depends on who's champion and who's the massive star. Like maybe we could get a Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. That's a huge, huge fight. You're going to have some of your American fighters on there, like a Colby Covington and a Sean Strickland. You could match up Colby Covington with a possibly rematch with Jorge Masvidal, just due to the fact that those two guys are not at their very best. But it gives us some interest, and it gives us some much of a grudge match that potentially happening, or a grudge that could potentially happen. But I don't know. We know there was a lot of stuff that went down with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington outside of the cage, so not sure if they want to bring that to the White House. There's the security that's going to be there. Good God, I don't know if they want to match up those two. Again, just throwing it out there with Conor McGregor. If they just don't get it with Michael Chandler, maybe this is a time where we can finally get the Nate Diaz Part 3 fight. I would love to see that. 100%. I mean, these guys are not getting any younger. These guys are getting much more older. They're going to be well into the 40s by the time this fight takes place. So better now than never. It's my personal opinion. On the undercard, you can always match it up with the little things. Like I mentioned, Sean Strickland. Maybe we could get that Israel Adesanya rematch if that doesn't happen prior to this fight. yeah, there's just so many great fun fights we can actually have that it's gonna make it really historic. And I really hope they do it. You know, I really hope they stack the card. I really hope they make it the best card ever, because Dana White has mentioned multiple times he wants to make it to the best ever card. So guys, I can't wait to talk more about it. It's still very early, but there's been a few topics regarding this card and regarding the White House and the updates. So I just wanted to mention it to you guys, and definitely let me know in the comments of what you guys think or what you guys want regarding this card. So guys, let me know what you're thinking. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.